So over the last 6 years, Gloucester City Council has been involved in developing asset-based community development with partners across the city to help create a place which is healthier, safer and more inclusive for our residents. We've been working with partners such as the Barnwood Trust, Gloucestershire Constabulary, and we're really looking forward to working with Gloucestershire County Council.
So we've been developing a team for 2 or 3 years who've been learning the methods of ABCD community building. And so the police and the City Council decided to second, in the case of the police, 3 police community support officers, PCSOs, and from the City Council, somebody from their engagement team into Barnwood Trust to learn the methods alongside our team.
I think for us, certainly the project jointly between ourselves and the police to second a group of PCSOs and then Verona, our community builder, working together, free from organisational constraints. I think that was a pivotal moment in terms of understanding how it works and the impact and the results it has.
And for me, within a policing context, I can see an awful lot that would be useful from what I was learning around ABCD that would enable us to move to that much wider concept of neighbours' safety where everybody's involved in creating a safe community.
So to do this project, we formed a strong relationship between the 3 organisations and we signed a partnership agreement to make sure that each of us could get what we needed from the project.
Working with the City Council, they were sort of really at the beginning of learning, developing the community building or asset-based way of working. So being taken out of that environment and into an environment whereby it's more of a what's strong way of thinking actually helped me to develop.
The biggest change I think for me was that with the police you're always dealing with negative, so the instance that we get, but with Barnwood Trust is very much what's great, what's good, what works. So having the community builders in one room, sharing the same story, sharing our work ethic was what worked for me completely.
What they had to learn was how do you connect with people who you don't know, have never met, and begin a conversation to find out what somebody really cares about where they live, what they love doing, and what they'd like to get engaged in. That's not as easy as it sounds. It's a real art if you're going to do it really effectively.
Sometimes I didn't think I was doing anything, and then I come back and I say, oh, this happened today, and this lady never comes out of her house. And then you say, well, that's amazing, that story. What do you mean she never comes out of her house? What, now she's going to the coffee shop once a week? But sometimes what we do is an everyday thing.
Trusting in sort of communities and individuals to doing things and achieving impact and stepping back, not over-organising, but trusting that things will happen, which I think for a public servant, we call ourselves public servant, is quite difficult.
I've learned so many things about the way organisations work, whether they support residents to do more for themselves, or whether they still continue the culture of, we know what's best for you. And I've learned so much about communities and people and where they live and what they want for themselves, for their family, for their neighbours.
So the project finished at the end of 2018, and we looked at the results of the evaluation then and found that they were really strong for building really much more connected and inclusive communities, which was a really exciting finding.
Gloucester City Council at the moment are developing a 10-year plan, aren't they, around community building. And at this point we've said that we are invested in that 10-year plan. We want to invest PCSOs into benefit from the experience of being part of that and going through that over a period of 10 years.
Because the vision is to have a community builder in every ward of Gloucester.
So quite often as local authorities we think we know how to do that, and we go in and we consult with residents to back up our own ideas based on our experience and our knowledge. But community building gives us the best way to understand what a good life really looks like for our residents without our agenda.
And I think it's a shift of how we as a council work with our communities, away from paternalism to supporting individuals and communities to reach their own potential.